The following is a short video on operating lights at the Ottawa Little Theatre. We're using a ETC element. When you arrive, you should find that the console is on. However, if it is not, then it's simply a matter of pressing this button here. You'll know it's not on because it will not be lit up, but as soon as you press that, it will fire up. In most cases, when you arrive, however, you will need to turn on the monitors. We've indicated that where the button is with a bit of glow tape here. It's just a matter of pressing the button underneath, and on the second monitor, again, pressing the button underneath. So you're going to want to get to the beginning of the cues. You'll notice one of your screens will be indicating your cues, and the other screen will be indicating the lights that are up. There are a couple of tabs down the bottom here that you can move to. This mode right now shows all of the possible dimmers. In this mode, it only shows those lights that are coming up. So if you progressed forward into a cue, you would see the lights that were coming up. Basically, this is channel 51, and it is now at 15%. So how do you get to the beginning? Well, first thing you're going to want to do is locate the Go to Cue button. It's right here. We've thrown in a little label to make sure it's really easy to find. So press Go to Cue. You'll notice everything you type will come up here in this line right at the below your cue stack. You're going to want to press Go to Cue 0 and then enter. Cue 0 is always a blackout and is always the very first cue. So from here you'll be able to use the Go button to go forward through the cues, and if you need to, because you've perhaps pressed the Go button at the wrong time, you can hit the Stop button, and basically that'll stop you dead. So if you were running through your show, you accidentally bumped or hit the Go button or hit the Go button too soon, you can hit the Stop button. Hitting the Stop button once will freeze the cue exactly where it is. Hitting it once more will back the cue up, and now we're all the way back to cue 0 again. So really, it's a matter of forwards, stop, and back. You're going to find that that's pretty much what you need to do. In most cases, you won't be hitting the back button. You might find that's useful when you're doing a cue check. A couple of extra things that you might find handy. One is that if you're doing a cue check and you're moving through and there's a very long fade on it and you want to skip through that more quickly, pulling this lever down and pushing it back up will give you manual control, and even if it's a 20 or a 50 count, that in terms of seconds, in terms of coming in, that'll move you almost instantaneously into the next cue. And other than that, that's pretty much all you need to know. I suppose the other scenario that is useful to have a plan for is, let's say for some reason the actors skipped ahead and the stage manager realizes that we need to, we're currently perhaps in Q2 and we need to move to Q, say 5. If the stage manager would ask you to stand by for Q5 and you knew that Q3 and 4 followed, obviously you want to confirm this with the stage manager, but it's a matter of pressing, there's a few ways of doing this. Probably the best way is to press Q5 and then you load it using the load button here, and then you're all ready to go. And as soon as you press go, instead of moving say from Q1 to Q2, even if you were in Q1, you wouldn't move to Q2, you'd move to Q5 because we have loaded Q5 into the stack, and so you can skip and jump cues in that manner. So that's pretty much all you need to know. You're going to want to make sure that all of these faders are down. the faders in the first two banks are channels, and the faders in the bottom row are submasters. On occasion, they'll have you operate house lights manually, but that'll be made very clear in your paperwork. That's simply, usually we keep house light in these last two faders here, so you could manually bring those up and bring those down. That's useful to know. If for some reason you needed a blackout, and the easiest way of doing that is just to pull down the Grandmaster. Obviously you got to remember that to put that back up. There is a blackout button, but we have disabled that because it's a bit dangerous having a button that can just black everything out. So if you need to black out, that's the Grandmaster that you'll use. Again, these are only sort of panic emergency type scenarios. In most scenarios, we're going to make sure that that is all the way up and all of these faders are all the way down. The other thing that you might have to do on a show is use the bump buttons. Sometimes if there's lightning or other special effects of flashing, it's a matter of either using this bump button, which will flash whatever is in that submaster, or fade up and fade down manually. Again, that would be labeled along here, and it would be clearly noted in your notes. There is a possibility that the fog machine could be operated from here, in which case, again, that might be loaded in the submaster, but again, that would be clearly labeled. So just to quickly recap, on arrival, it's simply a matter of going to Q0 and then pressing the go button as you move forward. The only other thing to mention is, of course, you're going to be moving forward through the queues as queued by the stage manager. So you're going to want to put your headset on. So we have our headset here, and this is the control box for our ClearComm. There's a little switch here, and if you switch it up, your mic will be off. In the middle, your mic will be on, and you can, if you need to get someone's attention, you can use the call light to try and grab their attention. You can also use the volume here. This will increase the volume in your ear, so if it's too loud in your ear, turn it down. If it's not loud enough, you can turn it up. This is where your headset plugs in. If for some reason you come here and find that it's not plugged in, it's simply a matter of plugging it in and making sure that it clicks. So really what it comes down to is once you've positioned yourself in your first queue with your preset up, and you know you're in a queue because it highlights the queue that you are in. If you're interested, this is the amount of time it'll take to fade in, and there's a label on it here. If you see an F, that's a follow, that's an auto follow, so that will move into the next queue without you having to press the button. But again, all that should be listed in the paperwork provided. In most cases, you'll be provided with a queue list and a marked script, but really what you're doing is going on the stage manager's call. The stage manager will put you in standby. So currently we are in Q1, and the stage manager would then say standby Q2. You respond, lights standing by, and then you place your finger above the button so that you're ready to press it as soon as the cue is called. The stage manager would then call LX2 go, and on the word go you want to press the button, not on LX, not on Q, but on the word go, and that way it will start to fade in. This particular cue auto followed, so it went from 2 to 2.5, and now we're sitting in 2.5, and we're ready to wait for our next standby, which would be the standby for LX3. So really all you were doing is on the standby, putting your finger above the button, and on the stage manager's go, pressing that go button and moving through the queues. At the end of the night, simply a matter of pressing go to queue 0, double checking that all of your faders are down, your Grandmaster can stay up, that's fine, and then you can turn off your screens and turn off the lights in the booth. The other light you can turn off on the opposite side, and then make sure the door is closed behind you.